Hi there, guys. Welcome to Talking Wellness. We thank you guys for coming back again. We thank you guys for the views, all the support. We love you guys so much.
Oh, yeah.
As you know, it's your boy Mykel.
Kayla.
Christian.
And today we're bringing you guys a holiday awareness kind of episode. We're going to talk about, what we do during the holidays, the things that get us by, if we don't enjoy the holidays particularly, just dive into that a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So, Kayla, you want to take us off?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, so wellness through the holidays. So everyone has probably a different perspective on what the holidays mean for them. And us three sitting here also have different perspectives on how we get through the holidays and what we do in the holidays and how we take care of ourselves. But the first thing that I wanted us to kind of talk about is more so of combating loneliness through the holidays, because for me, I know that there was a few seasons in my life where the holidays was kind of hard to get through because I felt alone, and I oftentimes was alone. And, even in the midst of going through circumstances in my life where I was experiencing hard times in the holidays. And so, I really want to talk about what you can do to get through that and how to stay connected. And, sometimes people look at the holidays and they just see the picture perfect, commercialized families around a tree,
The Coca-Cola
opening
commercials.
presents. Yeah, and sometimes that's not everybody's reality. And even I think on social media, you see everyone posting their cute pajama pictures, their Christmas photography, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think those things are so amazing, but that's not always everyone's experience. So I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about what has been your holiday experience, and have you ever had a holiday where you felt alone or lonely or just lacking?
I could. So it's funny you say that. I saw a movie yesterday. It was called 500 Hours, and it was talking.
Dang, good.
You seen it?
Good pick.
Such a good movie.
Good pick.
And in one of the scenes, dang, I completely see my ADD popped into my head. What did you just say 2 seconds ago?
Talk about loneliness. When
Yeah.
you felt a little lonely during the holidays.
Oh my
Share
god!
an
All right, Chris,
experience.
take over.
No
See you
worries.
guys. This is a live. We're in it, happening to me.
Unscripted.
Yeah, I gotta remember what I was gonna say.
Yeah, no worries. I can definitely share one. Last year, my family went to Puerto Rico for the holidays, and I wasn't able to go for whatever reason that I really can't remember right now. But the point is that I couldn't go. And, I know, because of work. That's what it was. But the point is, Christmas came along.
Mm-hmm.
And my fiance and I, we go out to have dinner with her family and her friends and whatever. And I was having a good time, but then it was just at a certain hour. It was 8 p.m. We were all sitting there. Everybody was talking amongst each other. And then, it just hit me. It's I felt this, immense sadness and, for honestly, loneliness. And I had to step out. I remember... I didn't tell anybody about it because I was just so distraught at the moment. I stepped outside and I called my mom and I just started pouring my eyes out. I've never experienced any feeling like that before. But sure enough, I called her and I was like, I miss you guys. Christmas is not the same without you guys.
Mm.
And my mom in Puerto Rico, she started crying too. It was it became a whole thing. But it really brought into perspective, for me at least in my life, the value of family.
Mm-hmm.
And how grateful I am to family, because I know that a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah.
So it really brought into perspective. That's why ever since that Christmas, especially this holiday season, my family and I are trying to do so much together
Yeah.
because of that. Because it was a real realization of one day I'm not gonna have my mom and dad with me
Yeah.
to celebrate the holiday. So I want to really enjoy as much as I can now, so that when the time comes, all I got to think about is the good memories that we've had throughout the years,
Yeah.
So it was a really, really vivid experience where I really got to, it's weird because I was in a room with 50 to 60 people and I felt so alone.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I've never experienced anything like that. And I've combated with depression, with anxiety. I've never felt alone in a room like that.
I feel more
before.
alone when there's more people, to be honest, like that. Honestly,
Yeah.
if I'm at home alone in my room doing the things that I like to do, obviously I'm alone. But I will feel way more alone if I'm in a room of people that everyone's talking and I'm kind of just there floating around. 1,000,000% I'll feel way more alone.
Yeah.
Like I agree 100% on that.
Yeah, so it was weird, man. It was,
Yeah.
I can't explain, and I know a lot of people watching probably have shared similar experiences. Maybe not in that context, but where they're in a room and it's like they're surrounded by people that they know and that they care about, but it just you just feel so alone. And so like
Yeah.
so I wouldn't wish that on anybody in the holidays. So I'm very appreciative of my life and of my family and the blessings that I've received.
For sure.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm pretty indifferent to holidays, birthdays, everything. I don't know. There's not really too much of a significance of them to me. I don't know. I see them as other days. With that being said, I definitely enjoy the time with my family if there is the time to be had. I guess I'm like thinking it in my head now. I guess it's maybe like my brain trying to level the expectations.
Mhm.
Like instead of expecting like we're gonna have a grand holiday and everybody's gonna open gifts and have hot chocolate and stuff, I don't expect that. So if it doesn't happen, I'm not disappointed, obviously. But if it happens, I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of something I've done subconsciously through like my younger ages when I didn't really have those times when I could be so close to my family. My family's a lot closer now. We have a lot more like family moments and a lot more engaging moments now, so it's a lot easier to do that. But beforehand, it was like obviously people were there and there and there, and people were doing their own thing, so it was a lot harder. So like I feel like with other people that may be going through similar struggles and other things like that, it could be a little bit of a similar thing, or maybe even more of a negative thing, like they're kind of just kicking it to the side. Because I've met a lot of people like that are like, I don't really celebrate the holidays, and they don't really give like a deeper meaning as to it.
Mhm.
But you kind of can understand that like they're like, at least me, the people I know that are like that, they have other issues, with
Yeah.
other things, with traumas in their life. So I think it boils down to trauma. Because at the end of the day, like I think anybody wants community and wants to spend time with people that they actually enjoy.
Right.
It's just
And what the holiday season means, and if it's not the space that you're in,
Yeah.
then it's hard to walk through
and
that.
it's hard because like you said, it's the holiday season, so it's almost forced. It's almost like you feel forced to enjoy
Yeah.
people and
Right.
community, and it's
Yeah.
like not
And if you're
everybody's
not
necessary-
internally in that
exactly.
space, yeah.
If you don't feel like I'm not enjoying everybody here, and I don't feel like they're enjoying me, then putting yourself in that forced scenario is gonna just make it more uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, I
Yeah.
think for me, like, I love the holiday season now, but it's the place that I am in my life. However, there was a time in my life where, like, what you said is like, I didn't know what day it was or like if a holiday passed because for me, I was in like my active addiction and I was just like so far gone that the holidays didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It was just like me in survival mode, just getting through. Like I might have spent like a holiday in jail. Like I think it was like Thanksgiving, I was in jail and then I got out. Like I was in treatment for Christmas and things like that. And so what I've recognized now in my life is like I love the holiday season, but it's not as much to do with like, the materialistic and like Christmas and opening presents as it has to do with like looking at like truly the blessings that God has graced me with in my life, meaning
Yeah.
like family connection, getting to also watch. I love seeing little kids, get excited about Christmas
Yeah.
and get excited about those things, seeing people light the menorah for Hanukkah. And just, I do enjoy now seeing people's like family photo posts of like the holiday season. Whereas there was a time in my life where, because I was struggling, internally, I was struggling with my circumstances. And to be quite honest, there was a time where I had lost custody of my son and we didn't spend the holiday season together. So seeing all of that, like you said, it was like the trauma and the realization of like everything that I want is not in my grasp
Yeah.
was like really hard to get through. And I remember feeling so alone, for Christmas. I was in treatment. And although I knew that I was working on my life and things were getting better, it was like just seeing the commercialized of like family and all this stuff made me want it even more.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when we want things even more altogether, for me, I'll like shut out the world. Like and that was when I was at a party, like a sober Christmas party, and there was all these people and they were having such a good time, and I felt so alone. And I didn't want to connect and I didn't want to talk to people because really the one thing that I was missing was like my family.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So let's. I'm curious. So let's say there's people out there watching who are struggling with loneliness and they're struggling with trying to combat that feeling. What are some places that you guys think that we can go, or what are some things that we can do to kind of combat that loneliness?
So for individuals that, identify with having like a substance use disorder or any kind of mental health challenges, I know that there's like support groups and like what they call 24-hour rooms. And those rooms actually there's people that are dedicated to like shifts of staying open around the clock 24 hours for somebody that can like come in for a meeting so that you're not alone through the holidays, so that you don't use because you feel like there's nobody out there that cares about you, because you matter, you matter, your life matters. And even though you may be alone, just know that you're not alone. And so there are 24-hour rooms. I know that. And you can find that on like AA or NA. They will be posting those. You can even like Google. There's also like support groups for different things too, if you don't identify with like, alcoholism or drug addiction. And then also, if you're somebody who just wants to tap into like some kind of community, like I would say like, your local church or like synagogue, like there's events, also free events, like that's a time for like, even if it's just like, maybe I feel alone, but if I'm around people, at least I won't be alone. Because even though in those times where like I felt alone, I will say like going to a sober Christmas party was probably better for me than just like sitting at home, for me feeling like really depressed and like, just kind of really being alone. So those are some options, pop into a local church, and I'm sure like, there's like celebratory events and stuff that are going on. Those are just some ideas.
Yeah, I would also recommend going to parks. There's something really special about going to like those special events at parks when they have the entire community there. Like I always try to do that for New Year's and for 4th of July. I try to go to a park in the area that they're doing fireworks. There's food, there's live music.
Yeah.
Oh, I love.
They
watching
do the beach too,
the
right?
beach.
Like we can do the beach.
Like in Fort Lauderdale, I know they have the Anchor. The I would say world famous, but the Florida famous Anchor that drops down for New Year's. So that's a community event, right? Obviously, if you're in your sobriety and all that, there are going to be drinks in those events. So I'll be aware of that. But for people who are not struggling with that specifically, those environments could be really, really fun.
Yeah.
Especially being there with if you're a person like me who enjoys just sitting down, listening to music, grabbing a quick bite to eat, the park is really, really nice.
Yeah,
to go to.
and even if it's like, because I love going to like the park, even if I know there's not an event, but just to get out and like be, outside sometimes, like that's helpful too. Because sometimes we do want to be alone, but even getting outside and being alone or going to the beach, especially because right now it's that cool weather. I'm hoping and praying that stays a little bit consistent throughout the holidays. But
so bad.
Man, this is why people come vacation in South Florida, is like literally for that like 2 weeks in our winter.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
So good. I mean, like I'm from California, so like this is like a good reminder of home too. So it's like this morning I woke up, I asked Alexa, what's the weather like? Said 60 degrees. And I said, oh, nice. And then I went outside with no sleeves. And I said, California.
Yeah, it's like San Diego vibes.
Oh, yeah. It's so nice. But, yeah. So actually, this conversation leads really well into our next topic. Well, if we're exploring things to do and trying to like combat that lonely feeling, I think a good conversation to have is how do we explore joy during the holidays?
Ooh.
And how do we do things in our lives and in the families or friend groups or support groups that we're a part of that can help us bring joy. And I want to start off by saying a huge thing that I do to bring joy for the holiday season is traditions. I love making traditions. The sillier the better, or the stranger the better, because it makes it more personal for each family. However, one that I do that's not necessarily strange is holiday movies. Every year, no matter what happens, our family, we try to watch some holiday movies on Christmas Day. I specifically, we've had the world famous argument of, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Sure enough, my dad always wins, and so we watch Die Hard every single Christmas. I also say if we watch Die Hard, then we need to watch Home Alone. So we watch Home Alone right after.
I love Home Alone, yeah.
So actually, that's my shirt right now. But sorry, I wanted to plug that for some reason. But so Christmas movies is a big one for me. Especially when it's Christmas Day and people are opening presents, families eating at home. We're talking, we're socializing. I really love putting in the background some Christmas movies on Disney Plus or Netflix or something like that. And when I'm in the mood, like if I'm being down, I'll put on a Christmas movie. And those movies have a really nice way of like uplifting people.
So that's another idea. If somebody feels alone, combating loneliness is
What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Home Alone. Home Alone for sure. However, I do love those Christmas movies that get a little bit into those conversations of like I love Home Alone 2 when he's discussing with the lady in the park, the bird lady in the park about and like keeping her company during the holidays, and they're both keeping each other company when they're at their loneliest points in their lives.
Yeah.
And like that's such a beautiful moment, and I connect with it a lot because that's kind of what Christmas is about, in my opinion, or the holiday season for in general is doing everything you can to find those supports in your life that can help you not feel alone, and that's why I love watching holiday movies, because it reminds me of that. Like I see it with the last year we had the incredibly violent night. Remember when Santa Claus it starts killing all these like
I don't think I've seen that one.
Well,
me neither.
Last year,
like, wait, what?
David Harbour, who is Detective Hobbs, is it, in Stranger Things, he portrayed Santa Claus, where he is.
Oh, I saw
is
that
stopping,
on HBO. But
he's
I
stopping
didn't see
house
it.
by house. Stops at this little girl's house, but her parents are like very rich people that are being abducted by these like terrorists or whatever. It's like it's Die Hard, but instead of McClane, it's Santa Claus. So Santa Claus has to start killing all these different soldiers that are like keeping this family hostage, and like
So Santa Claus saves the day.
pretty much. But
it's like a spoof kind of.
it's
movie.
insane, but it's fun because even those silly movies at its core has a theme of family.
There's
and
a
theme of being
massive
together.
audience for people that like to watch the movies like that. Yeah. Like,
I
I don't know if that's a Christmas audience or just that fan base in general, but I know people love those kinds of movies.
Yeah, they're fun.
I like them too. I have to be in the mood for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even me, I was like,
It is.
I don't want to
dumb.
watch this right now. But I know
It's a
there's a
dumb
time I'll be like,
concept,
let's
yeah.
check this out.
Yeah.
It's like a Shaun of the Dead or something like that. It's like a kind of
Yeah, it's a spoof.
dumb,
Yeah.
serious movie. It should
Yeah.
be serious, but it's so dumb.
Yeah, it's
okay.
meant to be dumb, but like they portray it so serious that it's like hilarious.
Like Scream.
Yeah, like Scream. It's like it's supposed to be dumb, but they're being so serious about it that it just works well.
Okay.
I also recommend Christmas music or holiday music in general. Oh my gosh,
What's your favorite holiday song?
you should remember this from our trivia episode.
I mean,
Wasn't it Jingle Bells?
It's not.
Oh,
it's
no.
not. See, this
now
is,
that she says that,
they don't even watch
It's a very
our
classic
past
song.
episodes.
It's a
Oh,
very
that's
classic
right. It
song.
was
I
like-
forgot.
the fans know.
The-
The fans
yeah,
know.
yeah,
They saw the Christmas episode.
It was
the
a
holiday music.
I don't even remember, but it was like something that was
It's
like
like a very.
Have your
Yeah, that's it, see? I had
the
melody.
Yeah, I don't know Christmas music, but I knew it was like a very classic.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
jazzy.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. It's just because it's the same thing. It's a bringing themes about togetherness, bringing things about remembering other people. Have yourself a Merry Christmas. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Like here we are. Like it's stuff like that. I just love that. Faithful friends who are near to us, who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. I don't know. It's just
That's
like
cool.
it
Yeah.
perfectly
I
encompasses.
did Christmas caroling for the first time this year.
Okay, how
Yeah.
was that for you?
It was a great experience. I was in Georgia, and my boyfriend's mom was like, "We're
That's
gonna
cute.
meet." It
That's
was
so- that's
cute.
super cute. I
You know
mean-
what the community does? They get together every year,
That's
okay,
so
at the
cute. I
community
mean,
center. And they do this huge event of Christmas caroling to like light the Christmas tree.
I thought that was only in
and
movies.
then
Nah,
it
dude,
stays.
it's a
This
real
is
thing.
I have never experienced this
I didn't
before.
know that
I
was
thought
real.
it was.
Real
We had
thing.
hot cocoa. They
Been in
handed
Florida
us.
too long.
Yeah, they handed us like
doing
the
no
sheets.
caroling out in the heat over here.
And we sang Christmas carols and lit the tree, and it was like the whole community came together for
Yeah.
that. And I was like, this is like so cool.
No,
I've
it's
never
super cool.
experienced this before.
Yeah.
And I was like, it just felt warm. And I was like, man, I would love to do this
That's
like every
interesting.
year.
Yeah. I'd be there like, this is so weird. Like, I have to be happy, but like, I don't know why.
Let me share with you.
That's so cool though. I like communities like
Let
that.
me share with you the Puerto Rican version of this.
Okay.
Pans. Oh, I know more of that than that.
So Puerto Rico, we have Christmas carols. We just call them parrandas or asalto. And the idea is you get like you make a plan, right? You get like 50 people from your church or from your community, right? And you tell them bring whatever instrument you own. And like
The loudest one you have.
the loudest, and then like 80% of them say, I don't know how to play an instrument. Go to the kitchen,
Pots and pans.
pots
Yep.
and pans.
Yep.
And then we start, we go house to house, really. But the tradition is where you tell it's normally an older couple, you know,
Yeah.
and we tell the lady of the couple, we let them know, hey, we're coming to your house on this night. We don't know what time, but we're gonna come to your house, and then that tells the grandma to cook soup for the people who come, and that's the tradition. You go house by house eating their soups. So sure enough, you bring 50 people, so many cars worth of instruments, and then we're singing songs that we've grew up with for generations to these houses, and like it seems excessive or it seems like a little silly, but I've seen the faces of these ladies go from 0 to 100. Like they go serious, and then like it turns into this whole community thing, and like it's such a beautiful experience. And I understood when I did it for the first time, I understood why it's such a special thing, because it's community.
Yes.
The community is coming to your house to make sure that you don't feel alone.
Yeah.
Sure, it might be 3 a.m., but we're here with you, and we're expressing love.
I'd be the guy like not going to the door, low key.
Well, when you have 50 people,
I don't know,
it's
you
kind of
might.
hard to like not be a part of it.
Yeah.
No,
But I watched that too. That was what I think for me was the coolest process, was just seeing how like this community comes together, and they do this every year.
Yeah. No, that's super
and they're
cool.
so serious about it. And they made like hot cocoa and like cookies and like, and it was freezing, you know, because it was cold up there. And then everyone started singing like in key. And I was like, dang, this is when I really realized I don't know Christmas carols. So I'm going to be
well, that's
practicing.
why you guys got the book.
Yeah.
But don't worry, because Puerto Ricans, we don't know the songs either. Like, we pretend like we do. We're like, a las 2 de la mañana.
That's what I do.
A las 2 de la like, my Puerto Ricans in the crowd know what I'm talking about. It's like,
It's all about the
I
rhythm.
don't like, I don't know half of the words, but we sing anyways because it's fun.
That's fun.
Board games is another tradition that I do a lot with my family, especially or with friends too. Like I've had holiday parties with friends where we bust out like a board game. We play like Uno or we play Clue or something like that. And it's like it turns into a fun time.
And friend holiday parties are like so fun too.
Yeah,
like oh my
absolutely.
gosh, we've played games. We get crazy with our games though. We do wild stuff. Wild stuff.
I have friends who get really passionate about games, so when they start losing, they start screaming, and that's when I think it's the most fun.
Yeah.
Especially if you're playing arguing games. Like I love Cards Against Humanity a lot, even though it's not necessarily safe for work, if you know what I mean. But it's so much fun to hear like these people try to defend why their card is funny. It's like, oh, you're dumb for not thinking that's a funny joke. What are you talking about? That's hilarious. It's like. It's great, you know.
Board games
and
bring
again,
out the real.
and again, it comes back to that theme
Yeah.
of community that's so nice about the holiday season. And I think that's what I love the most about the holiday season. It's just that community aspect of it. You know, bringing everybody, no matter who you are, your past, your present, your future, no matter your race, gender, identity. It's just a way to connect us as a community. You know,
Yeah.
like I love the fact that someone who celebrates Hanukkah, despite us having different traditions, they can still be a part of that. They can still come to the holiday party. We can play board games. We can eat food. We can talk with each other. Still be with each other. Like that's the beautiful thing about the holiday season. It's Christmas is the one that we celebrate, but any holiday that you celebrate during the holiday season,
It brings community.
it's
Well, that's
all
the
about
purpose
community.
of it, is bringing
Like,
community.
It doesn't matter what name you put on it. It's just community, and
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I love about it.
That's awesome. Do you have a tradition that you do for the holiday season?
Nah, I mean, not a consistent one. I mean, at least family-wise, not really. I mean, something I find myself always doing is kind of watching movies,
Yeah.
whether alone or with family. I mean, it's just something kind of happens. I mean, it's just not consistent. I don't know. I feel like tradition is something that happens all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't really have anything like that. but I could see how that would be like enjoyable, obviously, like
Mm-hmm.
to have a tradition, something that you can fall back on. It keeps, at least if you're talking about like a family,
Mm-hmm.
it would keep you obviously a lot more closer, a lot something to fall back. Because like every family goes through dysfunction, so I think traditions are a good place to fall back to like reset everything.
Yeah.
So,
And you can create them at any time. I mean, I started creating traditions, and like our family has some traditions for the holiday. And like one of the things that I love that's really been consistent is like Christmas Day. Cause like my family, we celebrate on Christmas Eve, and is when we have like our party.
Same for us.
Noche
but-
buena.
Yes.
Noche Buena, and then we do
And
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day though for me is probably like my favorite because it's the most intimate, and like my sister and my nephew and my son and my brother and my mom, like we all come together, and my mom makes like pancakes in the
Nice.
morning, and we're
That's
like
cool.
just cozy and comfy and helping the kids, you know, like that when they opened all their presents, they usually have stuff that needs to be put together, whether it's remote control cars or bikes and
Yeah.
PCs now and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so being able to like help in that aspect, and then we do stockings. So like that's been something that we have is like we line up stockings, and
That's
that's
fun.
always fun to fill.
Yeah, I guess I do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the background, you hear the. Bada, bada.
Yeah.
And we play Christmas music, you know, the morning of, and it's just it's so nice.
It is nice.
Lately, I think almost every year Christmas Day has actually been like a really pretty day too, where it's been like cooler and stuff, and so like
It's
it's
been
just
super nice.
I always wear my
Yeah.
sweater for Christmas Day because it's the perfect weather.
yeah.
Let me ask you this question, and it's kind
ask
of
away.
it kind of has to do with tradition, but I really want to hear you guys' perspective on this. Do you guys think that gift giving is a stressful part of the holidays or a fun part of the holiday? What's your view on that? Because if I just share with people that I know in my life, for some people it's like the best part of the whole thing. Like for me personally, it is. It's like I love the idea of
Yeah.
just giving gifts.
Well, it could be stressful if you don't have the means to give
Right.
what you
Yeah.
want to give.
Right, but that's kind of my question. Is like, do you guys? It's for you. Like, obviously, putting to the side if you don't have the means, of course, that could be stressful, and I understand how that can be the biggest stressor in the holidays. But let's say for people who do have the means, you know, the idea of gift shopping for all these people that you care about, is that a stressor for you guys, or is that actually something that brings you up a little bit?
Well, recently, I guess that's a tradition we have recently. The last 2 years, we've done like a Secret Santa.
Oh,
It's
cool.
like a $200 limit, so we only have to get a gift for one person. So
Oh,
that
that's
definitely
interesting.
limits stress
Yeah.
for our family.
That's smart.
Yeah,
Especially if you have a big
oh,
family.
Yeah, and it's very easy. They put the list, they put what they want, and you pick it. That is one thing I don't agree with because it kind of defeats the purpose. I think you should at least have to like do a little research on that one person to get them a gift they actually like. But I get it. You know, you don't
Yeah.
want to spend $200 on something and they only get one gift and they don't get something they actually like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're older
yeah.
now too, so
Yeah.
like that's why we do it that way. When we were younger, obviously it was a lot more gifts and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can definitely see it being stressful. Like, especially for someone like me, I find Christmas or holidays, I'm a little indifferent to them. Again, I could care less. I could care for them, you know.
Mhm.
So like, when it comes around the time of year, let's say if you're obligated to spend $1,500, $1,000 on gifts, you have a big family and you don't really care about the holiday, you're probably gonna be like, especially when you know like. Maybe you're not that close to your family, and maybe you're not. I don't know. Maybe some people think of it very, very materialistic. Like, I don't want to give people stuff, and then I might not get stuff. So it's like, it's that, and then there's the feeling of like you're saying, it's the stressful of like trying to find something what they like. Some people
Yeah.
aren't that close to their family. They might
Yeah.
not know what they're into. There's a bunch of things that could. I definitely think it could be a bit of a balance act of like 50-50 between if it's more stressful or not. It really depends on the
Yeah,
person.
I think it is at some point. I'm thinking of like even my process this year. So like I thoroughly enjoy giving gifts. Like I just love that. I love it whether it's the holiday season or not. However, what is stressful during the holiday season is I have a lot more gifts to give. And I usually, because I'm a procrastinator, I end up doing it last minute. And then also not knowing, like, because I have family that I'm not as close to, but I get to see them around this time. And so I always like to have a gift for them. So, like, knowing what to get them is probably, like, what's stressful the most is, like, crap, like, what would my Uncle Marco like? You know, what would Marquito like? Like, so that's actually what I have to think about for this week because I have to get their gifts.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
so I think also where you are financially, you know, like there was a time in my life where the holidays were really stressful because I didn't feel that I had anything to give because I didn't have the financial means to give.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so
Absolutely.
now being able to bless people a little bit more makes me feel a lot better, and it also makes me feel grateful for like the position that I am in life to be able to do so. But I could see where like I've been in every, like here's the scale, and I've been probably everywhere on the scale, and it just really
You
depends
saying
on
that makes me think. It's like I honestly hate receiving gifts. Like I don't even like receiving gifts myself. Like whenever I get a gift, it's like the weirdest thing for me to say thank you about it. It's the weirdest thing for me to like. I almost like feel like I need to give the person a hug, cry, break down every time I get a gift, no matter how minimal. Yeah, I'm not a person that just I don't know. I don't know if I don't expect it. Like even my birthday, like I bought myself like a TV, like a pretty expensive TV, and then Peter's like, "Hey, what'd you get?" Da-da-da, da-da-da. And then he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's on me." And that was like he did that, and I started crying. I'm like, "What the hell?" Like, I'm like, and it's so dumb, you know, because it's like, you know, he is my dad.
Yeah.
And I'd do the same thing for my kid in a heartbeat. But it's like, I really just don't expect anything. Well, I don't know if it's I don't want anything. I don't want anything. But I think that stems from the expectation thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like that same pressure towards other people, I feel like I never want to make them feel that way at all. So like I'm very like when it comes to costs and stuff like that, I'm always like I don't want anyone to feel like they need to get me anything.
Yeah.
For my birthday, for
And
Christmas,
I'm very
for
similar.
anything.
I'm very similar. Growing
know?
up, like my mom would ask me, "What do you want for Christmas?" I was like, "Whatever you want to give me." I really don't.
Yeah, that's why like the holidays more than anything for me. Like Christmas isn't Christmas, Thanksgiving isn't Thanksgiving. They're more literally like branches of gratitude for me.
Yeah.
Each holiday is just.
I love that.
It's just another.
I love.
Yeah,
that.
it's just another season to be grateful for.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
obviously like the theme is different. You know, we're eating turkey here, and then this time we're having gifts, so it's a little different themed. But it's always about gratitude, and it's always about trying to wrap my mind in that way. Yeah, that's really
I think the gratitude thing leads us perfectly to the next topic that we got in mind, which is kind of reflecting through the year.
Yes.
Which I think is such a crucial part of the holiday season.
No, for sure.
It's the last month of the year. We're looking forward into the next year, which would be 2024 for this episode. So reflecting and kind of thinking about the future, but at the same time using this little time that we have to rest.
That's honestly perfect topic to jump in. I'm gonna just start it off too again. I think I reflect so much at the end of the year because again, it's back to like me. My birthday's around this end of the year.
Yeah.
I'm getting older, and I said on one of the I don't know if it was last episode or the episode before I was saying like on my birthdays I would usually like cry and pray and stuff. It's always like that around the end of the year for me. It's always I don't know if it's literally because it's been a year and I feel like my body feels wow it's been a year mentally, you know, or it's literally I feel like I'm getting older and I feel like I've gotten wiser over the year, whatever it is. But I always find myself reflecting, and I always find myself kind of like, you know, looking back at the end of the year. And I think that's why I am so kind of indifferent towards these holidays because they end up at this time frame.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, because like during the beginning of the year, I don't feel like I feel like if it was earlier in the year, I wouldn't be like this. But I feel like during the time, I don't know what it is, but you saying that makes me really think that because this is so closely related to my birthday, that these holidays make me feel a bit more indifferent to them.
That's interesting perspective.
At least my experience.
Because I have a cousin, two cousins actually, who also have birthdays in the holiday. And for them, it's actually been a weird process because for the entire family, it's always like, okay, I got to get two gifts. I get them a gift for Christmas and a gift for their birthday.
Yeah.
And like for them, like I sadly haven't been able to have this conversation with them, but I've always, and I want to ask you now, that perspective of having a birthday so connected to a holiday, how has that been if anything, how has that been a stressor for your life?
Well, fortunately, it's not. Well, I'm 2 weeks away. So I know people that are actually born on the day of, and I've had conversations.
My cousin,
one of my best friends.
And I know it's actually affected them in a big way.
Yeah.
And it is so dumb, but when you really think about it, it's like obviously it would affect you. You know, it's a day where it's supposed to be like about you, and everybody. It's about everybody realistically.
Yeah.
You know, but
You almost get lost in the mix of the bigger
Yeah.
holidays.
I think I'm indifferent too because I don't really care about my birthday anyways. But
Okay.
it's just a weird thing it's just weird because I don't really care about my birthdays. But I feel like that vibe of that feeling of my birthday makes me feel that way about Thanksgiving and Christmas.
And I can relate to that because my birthday lands on September 11th. So every year while everybody is sad and like mourning the day, like I'm over here joyous and celebrating.
Yeah.
Like I've made so many jokes about it throughout the years. You know, I've made videos about it on my TikTok and whatever. Is like coming into a party like, oh, what's up, party? And they're like, Christian, why are you screaming? It's like, you said it's a birthday party for me. No, it's a party remembering. Like it's like that.
Yeah.
I've run through all these scenarios before, but I actually relate to that a lot because again, like I said, it's like every year everybody's sad on that day. Meanwhile, I'm over here cheering, being happy that I'm another year older. So
It's one of those
it's
things.
an interesting perspective though, because I've always wanted to ask that to my cousin, but he just turned 16, so it's like I never had the
His
chance.
mind is completely still developing.
Exactly, they're still developing, so I've never really had the chance to ask him that question. And when I see him, I'm not really thinking about that. I'm more thinking about like, let me spend time with my cousins. You know,
you never know. He might want to be asked that question. It might make him feel more important. That you
for sure.
care to know that.
I definitely want to ask him. I might even send him a text or a call this Christmas. I just want to know because this is a very interesting perspective to be in. And I don't know. I just think it's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have the fairy tale family growing up, I guess. Like when it comes to not everyone does. I'm not trying to. I never want to make anything like a pity party. Oh my god. But like, wasn't my reality. So like, waking up, having Christmas, doing all this stuff wasn't always there. It was there certain times, when the family be together, then it wouldn't. So like, I guess. It just is a defense mechanism deep down, like subconsciously, is me just like, I'm not gonna really get sad about not having what I really want. Because I do want that. Let's say I have a family, I have a wife, I have my kids. That's all I want. That's like everything I want is to wake up my kids with gifts and hot chocolate and all. I want all that. So I don't want to sound like a cynical person.
Right.
It's just
it's like
it's
what
just
I
me
said,
and my
though.
reality.
Share your truth, dude.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
just
But
my
that's
reality.
the thing. I said, like, depending on where you are at,
100%.
because that happened to me too. You know, when I didn't have the things that I wanted, now I do. So I do those things.
Yeah.
But I also agree with you. I mean, for me, this has always been, at least for the past 6 consecutive years, a tradition of mine is reflection in the month of, it starts for me like around Thanksgiving, like gratitude always comes up. But it really, for me, is like reflection. And for the past 6 years, every year, starting in November, I start writing a letter to God. And my letter is like long because I reflect every month of the year. And I talk about like my growth. I talk about like the prayers answered. I talked about the things I'm still working on, the things I'm struggling through. And then I always leave with like setting my intention for the new year. And I've done that consistently. So I for me, this is also like I love the holiday season because of that, because it's like truly reflecting on my year that just passed. And it's every aspect of it, and it allows me to see like where I'm at now, where I want to be, but also just to have that like full on heart of gratitude, for my life and the things that I have in my life. And so I love that you do that too. I think that everyone should do that because I think there's so much power in that when you're really looking at your life. And then, because oftentimes we all can look at our life and say, you know what, there are areas that I want to improve. I think we all should look at that.
Yeah.
And one of the things I think that is a tradition is everybody coming into January is like New Year's resolutions, right? But oftentimes there's not a lot of thought put into that. It's just like, oh, in the new year, I want to, get a 6-pack and do this and all of that. But when you really sit and like look at your life, you can actually take intentionality when you're actually saying, this is what I want to see for myself, and set real goals, that are actually value-based, value-driven internally to where you want to see yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I think, now that we're talking about reflection and all that, I also think there's a great importance of resting during the holiday season. A lot of us have this opportunity, this really nice opportunity where we don't get to work on Christmas Day or don't get to work the day after, and then we don't get to work on Thanksgiving Day. So it's like, I've seen it so many times, and it's funny because I the only recollections I can really have right now are in movies, but it's so common where people are just so distracted on, we got to go get to this place, and then we got to go to this house. Well, I actually saw that in my own life. We got to go to grandma's house. We got to go to the uncle's house. We got to go to the church. We got to go pick up the kids over here. We got to bring this. It's like, or we got to travel to this place, and then we got to go to this state because this state is where this person lives. Or like, oh my God, I got to get.
I think that's my biggest indifference to holidays is the amount of work it takes to do all that.
Right.
Sometimes.
So it's like the importance of utilizing that time to also, sure, being with your family is important, or using the time to reflect is important, but also taking that time to rest. I think there's something really valuable in holidays, in whether it be from January to now, is using that time to rest, whether your rest be a very personal thing, though, in your bed sleeping, or in the couch, a couch potato watching a movie all day, or whether it be your rest, hanging out with your family, with your friends, going out, whatever your way of rest looks like, but doing that, I think, is so important for the holiday season, especially these kids who are going into high school, they just got out of midterms and all that. Like, use this time to rest, to recharge, because January's coming, is going to be a whole half a year of battles until the summer. Use this time to recharge.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, with all that being said, unless there's anything else we want to add, I think this has been a spectacular episode, and we're so thankful to every single one of you who have tuned in throughout. We literally been doing this for 3 months or 2 months, and we've already met our goals. In the last, in our Christmas songs episode, you got to see the winner, our 50th subscriber. So we met our goal, guys. Our end of the year goal was met, and we are so blessed and so thankful to be able to celebrate with you all. And in celebration of the holidays, I want to do something a little bit special before we end the episode. Mike, I'm sorry. I know you say you don't like gifts, but I did bring you a gift today.
What?
Oh, man.
I brought both of you a gift.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
And
now I feel bad.
They didn't know. No, they didn't know. They didn't know I was going to bring this gift.
It better be like
This gift has been
gift.
This gift has been in the making for like a month now, because it's been on back order for some reason, because the company well, I'll just let you open it first. The company that I got this from gave me delays. Can you pass this to Mike, please? And but the point is, I got it, and if you could please open it to show the people, Mike, you
Together?
too.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can show the people what they are.
It's a box.
It's a box, guys.
I was like, damn, you opened it already? What the heck am I doing?
It's
it's on this way.
Oh, this is so awesome. My gosh.
why is
Okay.
mine not going
It is
out?
a coffee mug, which I love.
I'm getting it out, guys. I
wait, no.
I was trying not to rip the whole box
Yeah,
apart.
for sure.
This is
Oh, this is
amazing.
There you go.
Oh, I love it.
I got mine in my house.
I was going to say, I hope you have one
Yeah.
too.
That's what I'm telling you. Now we need the coffee table.
Now we need a coffee table.
yeah,
We need the coffee
yeah.
table.
So yeah, this is just a way of me saying I'm really appreciative.
This is cool.
Of
Wow.
both of you.
I gotta wash it.
Mike's going to cry.
Mike is gonna cry. That's what he said.
my
He
tears.
said that he's going to cry.
I'm gonna save my
No, but
episode.
it's just a way of
Yeah.
me is saying how much I care about you guys and how much this podcast has impacted my life, and I'm very thankful for the both of
That's
you.
awesome,
So much.
dude.
I love
Yeah.
the both of you
We're
so much.
appreciative. This is so awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
thank you so much.
This podcast, is made obviously to like talk about issues about wellness and all the core principles that we obviously encounter through life.
Yeah.
So it's super cool that like we have the opportunity to like each of us to come in here to learn more about each other, learn more about ourselves, and like at the same time be able to like show it to people and so they can grow for it if they do. But like at the end of the day, I've said it from the beginning, like I want to do this for myself, like as selfish as that is, to grow, to be able to learn to speak, and also to be able to like shut up and like put away my own thoughts and my own feelings about things and listen to other people and grow.
Absolutely.
So like this is awesome, dude. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, like I said, I suck at receiving gifts, so like this is super cool. I don't receive many gifts.
Happy
Yeah.
holidays.
You've done a really
Merry
good job,
Christmas.
though. I'm really proud of you.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
we
At
all have.
receiving this gift.
Yeah, you're doing spectacular.
No, but at
Thank
this too, I mean, I also feel so extremely blessed and grateful, and I think the authenticity and the growth that happens behind the scenes is really big and monumental, and we wanted to invite the world into a space where we can all grow together, and that's really what it's been about. So
Absolutely.
happy holidays from us to you and your family and your friends, and just and if you're alone, let us be your family and
Please.
your friends, and comment. We'll definitely talk to you through the comments and subscribe. And we just are so appreciative of each one of you that comes on here and listens and spends time with us on a Friday or whatever day you listen to the podcast.
Absolutely.
But we're super grateful. So happy holidays. Next episode, we are going to be getting into self-reflection and setting intentions.
Yep.
So hopefully this week you can kind of start to think about that.
Our last
And-
episode of the year as well.
Last
Yep.
episode of
Oh, that's
2023.
right. It will be.
Yeah.
Yep. So come with your self-reflection and some of the intentions that you have, and we're going to make it a really fun time together. So
Absolutely.
happy
Awesome.
holidays.
Happy holidays. Stay well, everybody.
Cheers.